Jonathan, Jeff, Spring Gamer, Skanderbeg, Ghost Riot, hello. Why are we buffering already? We just started! Anyway, today we're gonna look at something that I think is really cool, but we have to travel back in time to do it. Alchemilla Hospital is a Silent Hill fan site that's only temporarily down. Amy, I believe, is moving it to a new host. But in the meanwhile, what I am working... No, this way. There we go. I'm working on something super fun. And I found some cool stuff that I wanted to show you guys. But first I have to find where... I think I went too far back. I've gone too far! I gotta find the page to show y'all what it is I'm looking at, because I forgot to save it, because I'm stupid. But hello, folks jumping in. Oh, hi, I'm on the page. It's me. That's so sweet. That made me happy. All right, so today we're going to look at some images that are in the code of one of the demos of the first game. It's stuff that somebody found. I don't remember who found it. Let's see if it's here. Guess I don't have to find the original post, but that would make it easier. Come on, load, you can do it. Yeah, I think this is the post that shows. So which demo is this? The demo that comes from official PlayStation Magazine 16, it looks like, which I believe came out in March. I will have to look and actually see, because it'd be interesting if I could tell. Nope, this isn't the page. But there are some images that come in the video, in the game, in the code, that don't exist in the game and don't really correspond to anything, and they have a lot of Japanese on them. And so I got curious and was like, yeah, we're not going to be able to find it. I was like, I wonder what that says, and maybe if that'll tell us anything about what these images were used for, and it does. So we are going to look at some of the translated images. I'm going to move this over here. I don't think I've translated them all yet. Oh yeah, there is at least one I haven't done yet. And hopefully I will get to do more of them soon once I can find where I put the rest. I know I downloaded them somewhere. My freaking... my notes are a mess right now. But anyway, here is our first one. So this is one of the images. This is a really simple one. Koko ni kagi ga arimasu. I can read... what's it called? Hiragana. Japanese has like 3 letter systems, and one of them is based on sounds. So like these letters here are all corresponded to sounds that make words, like our alphabet. Kanji, which are symbols that represent a specific word, concept, what have you, I'm still learning and will be for a long time because there's so many. But I can read the other bits. I've read Japanese things today. I'm very proud. But it says, here is the key, and it's a doghouse, which makes it obvious that this is a placeholder or possibly even like a way for the person that's designing the puzzles and the layout of the town to be like, okay, when we do this part, this is going to go here, this is going to go there. You'll see that a lot in all these notes. This one was very simple. I had the worst time figuring out what that symbol was until I realized it's got to be key. I just searched for key. Let's go to let's see here. This one's fun. This one took me a while. All these images are from early parts of the game, from like mostly the school. Some of them, I think one of them is from the hospital. But this one, I mean, I don't know what it would correspond to. It took me forever to figure out. Shiwa konoyo no arito, which is that first line there. Ara yuru kurushimi no shumatsu deru. And then this part, I had to say this part out loud for me to figure out what it actually meant. Chosa Canterbury Tales. Or monogatari, which means like stories or tales. There's lots of books that have that name in the title in Japan. But when I said, I was like, Canterbury. It's a quote from the Canterbury Tales. The actual story was The Knight's Tale. Death is the end of every worldly sore. And I don't know. I looked on the wiki, and I think there's literally never been a reference to Chaucer in any of the Silent Hill games. My only thought is possibly maybe this was a quote that they were going to have like at the beginning of the Silent Hill 1. The bottom part there is ichimae, I believe, which means one picture. I'll have to double check because sometimes the line also means emphasis, but I think it means one picture. So maybe this was originally an idea for what that quote, fear for blood tends to be fear for flesh, blah, blah, blah. Maybe they were going to put, death is the world and the end of all suffering is death or something to that effect. A Chaucer quote. I think that's fascinating and really cool, and I'd love to know where that image was supposed to go. I don't know if there's any way. I don't know enough about code to know if there's a way to like look at the game code and be like, okay, well, this image is placed here. This is what it's for. I don't even know how to crack open a game. I wish I did. Give me long enough and maybe I'll learn if I get impatient enough and want to know what this stuff means. This one's fun. Senzai suru kaibutsu. Basically, latent monster seems to be the best translation. Invisible is also possible. But it is actually in the Japanese version of Silent Hill 1, the name of the book the monster lurks is Senzai Suru Kaibutsu. So this was probably the placeholder for where that book was going to be in the game. So like, I'm guessing when they're programming the game and Harry goes up and he looks at book, before they had everything finished, this picture shows up and it just says book. This is name of book. Let's see. And talk about book. When you pull up the book, this is the image that was supposed to show, like when you read it. Soft image. Wa yoku re karan. Honto wa koko ni kai ita hon ga aru. Oguchi aketa tokage to kariudo. I'm not as sure about that last part with this part. But basically it means, I'm not good at soft image is the first line. There's actually an open book here with a picture of a largemouth lizard and a hunter. So put that together. The first image says the title of the book. Clearly, like the programmer or someone would click and it would open the book. And then it says this image. I'm not good at soft image. There would be a book here that you would read about a hunter and a monster. That first line tells me so much about who is making these images. Soft image was the program used at the time to create the, game to make the environment of the game. It was what Masahiro Ito was using to build the Midwich School and everything like that. So immediately, anyone that's working on background design is not the person that made this. That's 12 people. Probably not programmers. It would be someone involved in the story and the riddles and that main meat of the game who doesn't also do artwork, which narrows it down a lot because Takayoshi Sato he would have known. Masahiro Ito, Keiichiro Toyama did create levels of the game in soft image, which means, honestly, given the context of what's being talked about and the fact that they don't use soft image, I think it's Hiroyuki Owaku. He was a game programmer. He was not an artist. He was involved in the riddles of the first game, which is kind of what this stuff seems like. It's kind of a riddle, figuring out where is the key, what does this monster book tell us, and he was at least slightly involved in connecting the riddles to the story of the game, so probably had some of that, going on. So I think these notes are all notes that were used by Owaku to give the programmer something to put in place of a thing that he was planning. And he put these here so the artists would later come and go, okay, what I need to create is a book with a hunter and a lizard. I just, when I realized that, that's when I was like, I have to tell someone, this is so cool, that this is literally like the playbook of the game. This is them, the people creating the riddles and the kind of storyline going, okay, here you go, programmers, put this thing in here, so when the artists look, this is what the artists need to create, and so they know what they need to do. Oh, just so awesome. Let's see, this one. I'm very confused by this one. This one has some words I had trouble figuring out. Roka no naka wa soratsu po. I might have to look that up again. Sora is sky. That symbol there is sky. Which doesn't make sense to me in this but I don't know. Naka means inside. Roka is a loan word for locker. So immediately we know this is about the school locker. And the translation I got from like the Google Translate was the inside of the locker is empty, which I guess may be what it is. Now that I look at it, I might have to double check. And then radar risogu shippai. That part was very awkward. None of the programs I used wanted to recognize those words. Spelling it out didn't help me. I'm not very good at katakana, which is like for loan words for English and stuff. So I'm not sure what this portion here really is. It translated as radar risogu. It did say that this part is probably radar, like the English loan word radar, but it wouldn't recognize this part, risogu. It wanted it to be risoku, which I think means like, I think interest or object or something. I'll have to look that back up. Shippai is failure. So something failed. I don't know what radar would be in terms of Silent Hill, unless maybe this is talking about some kind of back-end program, which maybe wouldn't have, an immediately recognizable word in English. I don't know. I'm not sure. Tobira ga akerenai. I can't open the door. Naze ni. Why? And then this part is dami dakara ikedo. Dakara ikedo basically means it's because I'm a, this is the reason why. And the word dami, the way that it's spelled here, those are, again, katakana, which is used for borrowed language words, is dummy in English. It's because I'm a dummy, which I wonder if this means this was some kind of game programming issue. Because if this is Owaku's a game programmer, maybe he had an issue with some kind of programming thing and left a note about, hey, I'm having trouble with this because I'm a dummy. I can't tell entirely since I can't quite figure out what this section means, but it's something to do with the locker scene in the school and maybe something to do with issues of the programming of it, or maybe it's the dialogue that Harry's supposed to say. Now that I think about it, maybe it's the dialogue he's supposed to say, because in the demo, the locker thing doesn't happen. He tries to open the locker and he can't. So maybe this is saying what he's supposed to say in that scene. That could possibly be it as well. I'm now very curious. I want to see the demo played now that I really want to play the various different demos and compare them now, because I know there's at least 2. Oh man, this is making me excited. Let's see. I think we have at least 2 more. I think we've done the really big ones. Here's another one that says dummy, which I think in this case is not referring to a person. The other one might have been, maybe it was Harry talking about himself. I don't know. Here I think it means a dummy image, like this is a replacement for something. Given what it looks like and what it's talking about, I think it's a place image for the books in the first Silent Hill in the school, where you read them and it's got bloody letters and it says, the riddle, blah, 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 blah. And it says, there's no blood. Actually, there's bloody writing. I think what it means is, right now, this image has no blood. He hasn't put any blood on it. But actually, in the game, there's going to be bloody writing here. You know, hey, artists, we need some bloody writing here. I think that's what this is supposed to be. And so this would have been a dummy placeholder for the various different books in the school that had all the bloody riddles on them. How cool is that? Ugh. Let's see. This one's about the doors riddle. So this is the door in the school that I think once you go through it, maybe the other world transition happens or some kind of transition happens. Uro Sekai Okoyo Muro. It had trouble with this part. Eventually, I think I kind of figured it out as Okoyo. I'm not certain. Ura is back. Sekai, this world. And then Muro is like a room. Basically, it's backworld stirring room. I think it's kind of saying that this is the door that like wakes up the other world, maybe. And then there's a second portion that, where's the second image? Here we go. Tobira kaku daizu, enlarged view of the door. Koko ni suru suto ga aru. There is a slit here. And if you remember in the game, you have to take an item and put it into the door. And maybe this note is either for artists or programmers, maybe programmers, to create a way to interact with the door and put the object in it. Like a reminder, like, okay, this door is going to be here. It's going to do the other world thing. We need a slot in it. Put the card in there, and then they activate the door. Let's see. This one. The word here is just mihon, just says sample, which is interesting since it looks really weird, because in the game, that is the wall in the school office, I think. And I don't think you ever see it out. Like, this looks like a picture frame. It's weird. I don't quite understand what this image would have been for, but it says sample. You know, it's a sample for something, a placeholder. Maybe this image was painted for the game or something maybe before the scene was programmed or something. I don't know. I really don't know what this one could be, but it's another scene from the school. That may be the last. Oh, nope, we got one more. Oh, yes, this one was funny. I didn't actually put out this was the first one I did, and I didn't put all the freaking, let's see how much I can read. It's gonna be none, because there's so many freaking symbols. Chireta, no, oh, maybe that's sareta, and that's chi, te sono, sunaka, shite, this is for no one. The floor of the hospital director's room, broken glass bottle, fragment has fallen. In one of them is still a little liquid, the body remains. So this to me is perfect example of like something that's being put in the game for a reference for the artist. So the programmers can program what they're doing and program in a placeholder image that's going to be replaced by the artists later on. And it's, you know, like the story / riddle portions that Owaku would have been writing and developing, you know, he's putting together and creating images for, okay, well, the game's going to have this kind of scene, and then it's going to have this kind of scene, and we're going to... okay, cool, here we go, this was it. Yeah, so I haven't done all of these. I think these are just elevator test event. I think those are probably just numbers. So, like, test event, you can click on them, and that'll be the 1, 2, 3, 4. You can go to the different levels. Yeah, because that means, that's Kai, that means open. So that's got to be open. Kaiko, maybe that just means open. Save that. Give me all those images. Let's see, game over. So this is the ball. See, look, it's another example of what's going to happen in the game. Koko ni something ga aru. That probably is ball. And that means the ball goes in here. Oh, that's so cool. And then the other one looks like it showed some water. Thank you so much to the Alchemilla Hospital people for this website. Wa something rita. Probably something about water coming in. Get that one later. And then that's the dog one. I love this item. The item placeholder is just somebody's dinner. Oh man. I wonder how many of these were just like, they just had a picture of something and they just put that there. That one is creepy looking. I don't know if that's maybe a death screen placeholder or a bad ending or something. I'm just gonna Google real quick. Death in Japanese. Okay, no, it doesn't look like that. It's gotta be something else. I'll have to look it up. We already got that one, and yes, that one. Oh, that's new. What's that one? Oh, that's the guy hanging in that one room. That's gotta have to be... Maybe that says... Oh, I bet you, because that's katakana, which means for loan words. I bet you that says Leonard Rhine. And then that probably says the Japanese words for the book title. Yeah, it does. It's the same as the other thing. So that's Senkasuru Kaibutsu. I have a good memory. Somebody say something about not radar rendering? Oh. If somebody actually, like, knows shit and recognizes some things here and wants to give some feedback, please do, because I am still just very beginning learning languages, this language specifically. Not multiple, just this one. I have some books I use and websites I double check myself on, but those are boobs. What is this image? Why? Why this? Where did this even come from? I'm fascinated. I'm so fascinated. And I guess that's the placeholder for the brightening of the screen. That's an Alessa art, it looks like. I wonder what that would have been a placeholder for. Or maybe it just happens to just be in there. Okay, I think I have that. I have that and that and that. Oh yeah, that's the original save and load, like, working screen. I don't know if they ever planned on using that or not. There's Alisa. Oh yeah, I meant to check what this image says. I see the word for mouth. No! No! No, it's so small, I can't look at it. No! I can't look at either of these images, no! Well, hopefully the website will be back up soon, and then I can look at those two. It's so small. It's a field of flowers. I see no... Okay, I can read a little bit. I see the word for mouth. There's no way I won't be able to do that. Hello. I'm sorry I haven't said hello to folks. I just got really excited about this project and sharing it with folks. Oh yeah, this was the original quote. In the demo version, instead of fear of blood, fear of the flesh, it said, "You will encounter a wall of darkness and the wrath of the underworld. These will help you." And then you got to pick whether you went to Scenario 1, which I think is like the opening portion of the game, and Scenario 2 was the Otherworld School at Midwich. Which is part of why I think it's so interesting that these images are here, is because Midwich would have been like the first portion of the game that they made, because it was the demo that showed at E3, and at E3 they only had like 20% of the game. Like, they probably only had Midwich done. So I'm imagining that like they hadn't had time yet to clean up all their dummy files and stuff, and so the demos just had all the stuff that they'd been working with while they were still creating the game, which I think is cool, and I wish we had more of it. I wish I was good at computers so I could, like, crack this stuff open and look for things. But I also feel like these games are so old, surely someone's already cracked all the things that can be cracked. Surely the crackening is done. Beta info. But yeah, I just thought that was really cool, especially the fact that, like, I kind of feel like it's gotta be Owaku, because... Alright, let me look at the Silent Hill... I can't spell... alright. Soft image. Yeah, because Keiichiro Toyama did background design. That would have been soft image. Naoko... Anybody that did, like, monsters and texturing and stuff, that would have been definitely soft image, I feel like. So, I feel like only programmers wouldn't have used soft image, which includes Owaku. And Toyama and Owaku would have been the ones most involved with, like, story. Because Owaku didn't write any of Silent Hill 1, but he did the riddles. And the riddles are tied into the plot, so I imagine he at least had to, like, talk to Toyama about the story and things. Get it approved by him, I'm sure. So, yeah, the event programmer It's gotta be him. Nobody else makes any sense, because all these people use soft image. All of them. All those ones. It's only the programmers that didn't, and of them, Owaku was the most involved with the story. Which is cool, because there's not a lot of, like, Owaku stuff for the first game. There's a lot for 2 and 3, because he was more involved. We don't have as much about what he did in the first game, so I think it's really cool if that stuff is his. And it does give a kind of neat look at his development. I have a question. Do you think Lisa and Angela deserve their fates? No, of course not. Especially Angela. Lisa, no, still no. She's just definitely not. Either way, they both deserved better. Except this is a horror universe, so they are trapped in a hell realm forever. Just like I'm trapped in Silent Hill forever. How long have I been trying to do other things and then I just fall headfirst into deep Silent Hill dive? I didn't even mean to start this. My whole idea was Halloween's coming. I should do something cool for Halloween. How about I revamp that documentary I did like a year or 2 ago? And I'm still working on it like a month later. I just cannot find any more. Like, I don't know. I cannot. I'm obsessed. I'm just really deeply enjoying this. I will one day do other video games, I'm sure. But I just think until I have truly exhausted Silent Hill, I just every once in a while, I just fall back in love with it. Silent Hill symbolism will continue. I've been way more interested in working on this other project. But I am continuing it and going to put one up this week if it kills me. Someone asked about the source for Owaku doing the riddles, so let me... Oh, no, I don't want to show you that, actually, because some of it has images that you shouldn't see. My Owaku file, where are you? I keep getting confused because all the credits list their names in the English style, and then all the Japanese interviews list their names in the Japanese style, and I keep trying to, like, in my head, talk about them in the Japanese style. But I always forget whether or not I wrote their folder name. Is the first name first or is the last name first? What did I do? Is it... Oh, it's an H. Where did I put Hiroyuki? Here you go. It is somewhere in here. Oh, wait, no. Is that it? No. Here we go. Masahiro Ito's Twitter. I thought it was. Half of the stuff I talk about, like Masahiro Ito tweeted it, or some other folks. There are other people that tweet about Silent Hill, but he is the most prominent, and I think mostly it's because he's the one that speaks the best English. Silent Hill 1 was the story was Toyama's, like, entirely. Anybody you ask, it was his. But Owaku did all the riddles, and then I think probably that experience with him is what maybe gave him the people, when they came to game 2, they were like, okay, Owaku, you got this. You do all those riddles and story stuff, is you. And it still wasn't entirely him, but, like, at that point, he had taken on a lot of the kind of that role of writing out the puzzles and the story and, like, that kind of building those things together. Because they're, in this kind of story, they're pretty intricately tied. Like, the themes and everything are going to be similar and all that jazz. It's fascinating. I should show you guys this. The original project was not just like videos, which is what I've been enjoying doing quite a lot. It was a book, not one for selling, because I want to put pictures in it. And so I'm just creating basically a big free PDF. Each chapter is being made into a video, which is why you're getting videos every week. Muse is mostly a Masahiro Ito Reacts channel. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. But I'm trying to put this together by the end of October. I hope it'll be done. I was hoping it'd be ready for October, but it just kept getting bigger, so that didn't happen. But here, let's go to sources, control click. Look at all the Twitters. So yeah, if you're interested in learning where I learn stuff, it will eventually be on the internet, and you will be able to look at all the sources of all the things that I have sourced. All the articles, all the interviews. I'll probably put up a more simple bibliography as well, because I know most people don't want to sort through all this bullshit. Like, what does all this mean? It's also my first time doing a bibliography that had Japanese in it, so that was fun. Wasn't really sure how to ABC that, so I just put it at the end. It's not even done. It took me 2 hours to source all of Masahiro Ito's tweets. Like, I think there's literally 1, 2, 3. There's literally pages of his tweets. Oh my god. It keeps going. Look at this. Okay, there we go. It stops right there. So it's like 3 pages of his tweets. And then Harry Inaba also has some great tweets. I mean, just fun stuff. Some of which will come up in the next video. There's spoilers here. I should hide that. It's been really fun. And I know that we always joke that I don't have a schedule, but lately I've even had less of one because I've just been really absorbed in this project to the point where, like, at the end of the day, I don't want to stop and stream because I'm really into it and I'm really enjoying it. It'll be done probably in, I think, at the most, the writing and research will be 2 weeks. I'm still going to be transitioning it into videos probably for months. Because at this point, I've only just talked about Silent Hill 1. We haven't even gone to the other ones, and I'd like to do all of them eventually. I imagine it'll be a part 1 and part 2, because otherwise it'll just be huge. And might as well divide it into Japanese and Western, because that's what everybody does. But yeah, when October comes around, I'm going to do more horror game streams. That'll be fun. And going to try and get back to doing readings once a week, probably in the morning, because it seems like I do better if I get up, I have my coffee and my breakfast and my morning ritual stuff, and then I can sit down and read before I jump into the research and get lost in it. And that way we'll have reading streams again. So tomorrow morning, maybe 9, 10, I don't know. Because reading streams seem to be something that people don't tune into live as so much as they rewatch later. I get a lot more like late time watches after the stream versus the video games where most people watch those live. So that's probably what we'll do. So even if you can't watch it live, you'll be able to watch it later. And I need to decide what game we're going to play next. Obviously, it's going to be horror. It's that time of year. Unfortunately, the visual novel that inspired Silent Hill, Otori Giso, never been translated. Because it's a visual novel and it's in Japanese and it's old, so it would take a long time, unfortunately. So I think somebody did do a YouTube stream where it was captioned and translated, so maybe I'll watch that sometime, but we're not gonna be able to like stream it, unfortunately. So I don't know. Y'all give me your advice on a horror game to stream next now that we finished Sweet Home. I was gonna try a game called Faith. The creator followed me on Twitter. It looks really cool, and it is a horror game, so maybe we'll do that. Oh, and someone did buy me Pathologic a while ago. Maybe I should try that. Or no, I'm not thinking of. I'm thinking of something else, maybe. It wasn't Pathologic they bought me. Was it Deadwood? Is that the one? I'll have to look at my list of games and see what we're going to play. I'm thinking for, like, the October season, we might not play through games entirely, because when we did that last year or the year before, we played, like, 4 games. We might do a different game a day and get, like, a different taste for different games, you know, and then figure out what we like. Yeah, Fatal Frame 5 Remaster is coming! When is that? It comes out soon, right? I want it so bad. My Switch needs to be fixed by then. Or they need to have the new one out. I want it. I want that game so bad. My Switch is in my bottom drawer. I haven't messed with it, but I need to do something with it. So yeah, I guess that's the plan. Tomorrow, book reading in the morning. Maybe a game in the afternoon if I have time, but it's Thursday, so I'll probably be editing a video. Silent Hill Symbolism. I'm going to try and have Silent Hill Symbolism on Wednesdays and the History Project on Fridays, just as soon as I stop doing other things. Like today was cooking and cleaning, because you have to do that to live. Remastered Project Zero. Yeah, they announced it at E3 this year. The 5th game's coming out on Switch. And I'm hoping if it does good enough, they'll bring the other ones to the Switch and make another one or something. If Capcom never made Resident Evil, do you think Silent Hill would never have come to exist? Well, certainly not the game that we got. I think eventually Konami would do a horror game because the horror genre was getting bigger slowly. Resident Evil just like popped the cap off that and just exploded it because it was very, very big budget. But horror in Japan and globally had started to really pick up with Clock Tower, Alone in the Dark, various things like that. Resident Evil just really sped up the process by being a huge hit. So we would have gotten something eventually, but would, Toyama have been there to get the idea and then to, all that things building up? Probably not. But yeah, more videos to come. Thank you for all of your support and your patience while I immediately become obsessed with new projects. I have to learn to accept it. It's how my brain works. I become obsessed with a new thing for a month and then I move on. And someday I'll come back and I'll work on something else again. I'll work on the history of religion and sexuality again. Maybe that'll be a yearly Pride Month thing that we just keep doing. It'll come back. My brain wants to do what it wants to do. So I gotta do it. You only get one life. I may as well enjoy what I'm researching. Yeah, so that's everything. More stuff coming soon. And I want to do a movie watch this weekend because I have more horror movies I need to watch with y'all. I watched The Exorcist. I watched Thing. I started Invasions of the Body Snatchers, but I don't know. I wouldn't get into it. Maybe I'll try it again later. Yeah. I had the thought that, okay, the next video is going to talk about Hellraiser, but like, am I crazy for thinking that, so the first game, some of the folks on it liked Hellraiser, and the Flauros is kind of like a puzzle box that has a demon in it? Is that a weird connection to make? Is that just me, or is that like, I had it like 12 p.m. last night when I was trying to go to sleep. Is that a good thought, or am I just weird? I feel like it's, maybe that's where they got the idea of a mystical object that has a demon, a connection to the other world. It kind of opens the door to the other world, kind of, because nowhere comes up when it activates and attacks Alyssa. I don't know. Anyway, more stuff soon. We do need to watch Sweet Home. I looked that up last night, Jeff. I'm trying to find out where it is. So we should start with that and then maybe watch other things. Maybe more Hellraiser. Thanks again, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.